Hey guys, so in this video, I'm going to be covering what I learned spending $331,276.48 on ads in 2023. Now, this is just for my account personally. Of course, we manage a lot of clients' ad spend as well, but I'm just going to be sharing some things that I've learned in 2023 when it comes to my own process. I'm going to cover the philosophy of becoming a successful marketer for your own business, the types of ads that we ran, our exact ad process, I'll lay it out, a school funnel that we set up, application grading process that was very valuable, as well as value-based follow-up that was essential to the success of this as well. So if you're wondering who I am, my name is Yamuna and I lived as a monk for 4 or 5 years, traveling the world and trying to dedicate my life to service. I then started Jivanam Ayurveda and Wellness, which is a wellness education brand where we trained people in the holistic science of Ayurveda. And now I run Conscious Business Mastery, where we help holistic thought leaders, coaches, course creators, and thought leaders scale their businesses to $1 million plus per year and beyond. And I'm super stoked to be bringing this to you. This is going to be a little bit of a nerdy, high-level training for anybody who's wanted to get their marketing to work and hasn't been able to yet at a high level. So why are we talking about this? Well, first of all, one of the most amazing things is being able to turn strangers into happy paying clients, right? If you're watching this, you probably want to make more impact in the world. And there's only so many people you know and that those people know. But there are way more people that you don't know and who haven't come in contact with your work yet and who haven't experienced you yet. And another huge benefit of getting paid advertising to work is that you can scale with predictable systems. So it takes the guesswork out of finding your next client and allows you to sort of build this machine where you can put in $1 and get out $3 or $5 or $10 or $20, right? And really just have a kind of client printing machine once it's up and running. Now, it's of course takes work. It's not magic, any sort of magic trick. And there's many ways to make it work. I'm going to break it down. But my question to you is, what would you do to ensure this? What would you do to ensure that your business could continue for the next 5, 10, 20 years and have a consistent, reliable way to bring in tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, or millions of dollars and be able to impact hundreds or thousands of people? What would you do in order to ensure that, right? Another huge thing of the systems that you get to create through paid advertising, that you can start to hire people, right? You can hire people to handle enrollment calls or sell for you using conscious sales methods. You can hire people to handle lead generation. You can hire so many different people once you get this engine going, because beginner entrepreneurs, and of course, later on entrepreneurs as well, they're completely dependent on cash flow to make their business sustain and to grow it into the future and to be able to provide a higher quality service moving forward. And so when you can start to create a mission where you can hire other people and hire really great people, in fact, and get them to create way more output for your business and way more impact for your clients, it just becomes a huge blessing, because now you get to give people employment that otherwise were maybe working at less than favorable jobs or companies. And now you also get to help way more clients. So everybody wins when you create these sort of systems. Now, the two most valuable entrepreneurial skills, as I was kind of alluding to, are getting strangers to raise their hand and hop on a call, and then getting those people who hopped on a call to, obviously, if they're aligned and if they can actually benefit from your product, to buy the product. Okay. Now, some very interesting things that I've noticed in myself and also with clients as they've gotten started with ads is that you must buy down your ignorance around this skill in order to make massive impact and profits. Again, if you don't master paid traffic, that's fine. But you'll just be very limited in how many people you can impact. Okay. Because you can spend money and have millions and millions of people see your stuff, and I just checked the ad account, and for this amount of money that I spent last year, there were almost 2.5 million different people who saw that. And that's just from some basic tracking. I'm sure there's even more people that saw it than that. So 2.5 million, what would you do to get 2.5 million people to come in contact with your work this year? right? What sort of impact would that make? And if you follow a scientific process that I'll lay out for you in this video and also get feedback and have mentorship on it, there's virtually zero risk. Okay, so I'll explain what I mean by that. But let me, first of all, before I go into our strategy and our process, let me just share some top mistakes I've made and that I've also seen some of our clients make as just as mindset wise and philosophy wise. So a huge one is conflating a sales skill set issue with the marketing issue. So what do I mean by that? Well, any good marketing is meant to get people to raise their hands. Yes, that's me. Yes, that's what I want. Yes, that's my pain point. Yes, I'm interested in your product, service, freebie, whatever it is. That's all the ad is meant to do, is just get people to raise their hand. Now, there are two skills that need to be mastered beyond just people raising their hands, which, you know, is the skill of marketing in itself, which is one, how to get someone who raised their hand to take the next step and book a call, which is, you know, lead, nurture, conversion. And two, how to get someone who showed up on the call who was a right fit to purchase, right, which is sales. Without those two skills of like lead, nurture, conversion, sales, which I'm, you know, grouping together lead, nurture, and conversion into one. Without those two different distinct skill sets, the ads won't produce the final result that you're hoping for of profit, right? And more people signing up for your cool stuff. So we want to make sure that we master these two things in conjunction with having a good marketing system, or else you could have tons of opportunity coming in, tons of people raising their hand, but you're not getting them onto a call, and you're not getting the people who do show up to a call to actually purchase and take the next step forward if they're the right sort of fit. So that is a huge issue, and you know, you're just going to have to be better at these things should you decide to get into paid marketing and you know, have it be profitable. So another mistake is not understanding the marketplace, and these kind of all tie together, which is understanding that out of the marketplace, 3% of the people that you're advertising to are looking to buy something now, right? Coaching, product, service, mentorship, whatever it is. 17% of people are just gathering info. Okay, so they're like looking around at different coaches, different programs, like they're like in a research phase. They're going through different people's funnels, going through different people's videos. All right, 20% are problem aware, right? They recognize like, hey, there's this need I have, there's this challenge in my life, and you know, I should probably do something about it, right? And then 60% of people are not problem aware, right? They have a problem, but they're not really aware exactly of why they're facing the challenges they're facing. And they're certainly not aware of the exact roadmap to get them out of that scenario. Okay. So given that, you know, essentially what direct response marketing is, which is, you know, a lot of what paid advertising is geared towards, is trying to just get these 3% of people who are ready to buy now to book a call with us and buy now. But we miss out if we don't understand that out of all the people who are going to see our stuff, you know, 97% of them are not going to be ready to just buy right this second. And so how do we not miss out on the 97% that we can actually truly help and make a meaningful impact on? How do we get those people into our ecosystem, nurture them, give them tons of value without pushing them away? Okay. And this is, you know, a value-based follow-up system that I'll talk about a little bit later. But a lot of people don't understand that, and they just expect every single person that comes in from an ad to just be ready to buy now and to have the money and to have the qualifications to be a perfect fit. But it's just not going to work that way. And that's the $1 trillion question, right? If someone could figure out how to get the exact right person who's ready to buy, who's financially qualified, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and has all the perfect traits every single time, they would be, you know, a multi-trillionaire, and they would just dominate, you know, the entire world, because it's the question that every sort of business is trying to figure out. And there's no perfect answer. Okay. Because of this in the marketplace, right? Only 3% are ready to buy now. And, you know, if let's say you are good at sales and you're good at conversion, you're good at these things, right? The first issue I was talking about was conflating a sales skill set issue with a marketing issue, right? So you get leads coming in, but you're not able to capitalize on it because you don't have the right skill sets to convert them into calls and to convert those calls into clients. Now, let's say that it actually is a marketing issue, right? The ads are off. Now, from here, we need to be more clear in ourselves on who you want and don't want. Okay. And we need to be able to hone our skill of going into the psychology of the person you want when you call them out in your ad and when you describe the problem or you describe the desire that they have. A lot of people create very broad claims and very broad ads, especially when I look at other people's ads. I mean, there's a lot of really bad ads out there that say nothing. Like, do you want more purpose and fulfillment and joy in life? Like, of course, every person on the planet wants that. But how is this unique? How is this different? How is this superior than other methods? What exactly even are you offering? Is it, nootropic pills? Is it therapy? Is it coaching? Is it some sort of toothpaste that's going to make me happier? I don't know. And so when people just create these broad emotional claims, and are not zoomed in on a few different elements that I'll get into in a moment that make really good ads, they get broad results, right? And so one of the concepts I'll zoom in on quickly and then I'll move forward is many people attempt to call out a niche, right? Like struggling moms, or whatever, stressed out, stay-at-home moms, without understanding that there are chapters to people's journey within that niche. And if you do not specify, you'll get all the people in all the stages reaching out to you. So what do I mean by that? I'm going to give a just crude example here. So if you help people recover from addiction, right? We have multiple people in our program that do that. What are all the stages within the addiction recovery journey, right? And I'm not an expert on this, so, bear with me here. But in my mind, there's quite a few different stages. There's fully addicted and not desiring help. There's fully addicted and desiring help. There's attempted recovery, but it failed or they relapsed. There's in recovery, but it's early stages, so far so good. There's in recovery 6+ months, in recovery 12+ months, and there's sober for a few years. Now, if you are just saying that you have this amazing process for people in recovery, it's going to attract all these sort of people. But maybe your process only helps people who have been in recovery for 6+ months onward. So we're going to want to understand, how do we not attract people in these first 4 chapters of fully addicted, not desiring help, fully addicted, desiring help, etc., and be more specific to exclude these people and highlight these sort of people that have been in recovery for 6+ months, right? Because some recovery methods, like if you're fully addicted and you haven't done some work yet, it's going to be much harder to get results with their methods. And so this is something that we actually encountered with some of their ads. And we said, okay, well, how do we distinguish people in these first 4 stages from people in these later 3 stages, and try to pivot the ad language to be more connected to these people, right? And less so for these people. There's many ways to do that. But I'm just trying to get across the point of, if you look at your ad, see, like, for instance, I had some people that were like, oh, I'm getting all these people that are like burnt out and stressed and completely overwhelmed. And they're like, they're not in a space to buy. And then we look at their ad copy and it's like, are you burnt out, stressed, overwhelmed? It's like, well, you kind of called out those sort of people. And within that broad net of people stressed out, there's going to be people like severely burnt out and like not able to really take any action. And there's going to be people slightly less. And there's going to be people who are actively like trying out solutions for their burnout. There's many different stages. So how can we be more specific here to get more of the people we want and less of the people we don't want, so we can actually get people higher level results? All right. And then I think when people get into marketing, they don't understand the basic rules of marketing, which is step 1, you come up with a hypothesis, right? Something that you believe based on good practices, good standardized practices is going to resonate with the marketplace. You come up with the initial hypothesis, and then step 2, you launch your ads and you lose money. That is inevitable. You have to spend money for people to be able to see it, for anyone to be able to message you or opt in. Okay, so you have to lose money first. And a lot of people have very low tolerance for losing money. And then step 3 is learn from data. So no matter if your ads perform extremely well or don't perform extremely well, there's data in there that's going to point us in the right direction to be able to iterate and take next steps and get better results forever, right? And to constantly make little incremental improvements. And then step 4 is profit, right? And so a general rule of thumb in business and in advertising is if you want to make $100,000, expect to quote unquote waste $10,000. And if you want to make $1 million, expect to quote unquote waste $100,000. And this is just called buying down your ignorance. There are things you don't know that you could not have avoided in your business and in your marketing that just had to get dialed in through trial and error. Okay. And so depending on people's tolerance, a lot of people just go through step 1 and step 2, and then they just repeat. And they just, okay, I need to try something completely different. I need to try something, or I need to change my offer, or I need to change my avatar. I need to change, but they don't actually go into step 3, really learn from the data, and then ultimately break through and profit from their ads. So it's unfortunate. All right, so that's a little intro here. Now let me really show you the process that allowed us to spend $331,276.48 and get a 8x return in 2023, excuse me, not 2024. All right, so let me show you our process here. So this is the very first component. Let me just make myself smaller. So this is the very first part of creating your ad. And the sort of ads that we run are these image ads. Okay, and we've found image ads to historically outperform video ads, and so have my mentors who are spending tons of money, $10, $11 million plus per month on ads. They're finding these sort of standard image ads on Instagram and Facebook with text on top of them to do better than video ads with all this fancy and flashy editing. So the triple S formula that you see here on the left is specific sort of person, right? Out of all people, like I mentioned, what's the right person at the right chapter of their journey that's going to get the best results with you? What's the specific desire challenge they're facing in that chapter? That's urgent enough for them to want to spend money on. And then what's the specific mechanism or like proprietary methodology that you have in order to get them results? And we put it into this image, okay? So specific person who wants specific desire, we help you get XYZ high-level result, right? So insert your high-level result through our specific mechanism in whatever the time period of your program or retreat or training is. Want to know how it works? Message me keyword. So we insert a little keyword there like growth or whatever for more info. And I'll even throw in our free, masterclass on whatever. So I'll give you an example of what that looks like. You can see this here. Oops, is it going to pull it up? No. So let me see. Yeah. Meditation experts, right? So this sort of person who wants this sort of thing, we high-level result within 90 days. We'll keep working with you until you do. Want to know how it works? DM me start, and I'll give you our 4-pillar conscious business framework, business mastery framework. Okay. So pretty straightforward. You're leading with value here, and you're naming a specific person, a specific desire, and really sharing the transformation that you're going to take them on. And it needs to be explicitly clear. All right. And there's many examples in here, right? Now, once we have that initial hypothesis, right, we just want to get our initial hypothesis out there because you may like something, I may like something, but what actually determines the success of an ad is how the marketplace as a whole resonates with your ad, not how I resonate with it or you resonate with it. Now, obviously, we have tremendous experience in this, so we're going to be able to point you in the right directions with the right practices. But that being said, we need an initial ad copy V1 where we fill this in for your offer. Okay, and this is what we do for all of our clients as well. And this is what we do for ourselves. Now, we basically take this creation and we put 10 different background images behind this same text. So we keep the text the exact same and we just change the different background images to it. Okay, now what sort of images are you going to want to test? Well, professional shots of yourself as the background, you speaking or doing the work, like if you do massage or if you lead workshops, like show yourself doing a workshop with a group of students, show yourself on stage speaking, or if you don't have pictures of that, then professional headshots of yourself. Ideal outcome of the client, right? So if you do stress relief, show someone, meditating or feeling relieved or feeling joyful or climbing a mountain. The ideal outcome that your client's trying to look for, what does that look like, right? Because a good ad is going to have a client like look at that and be like, oh, that's me. That's what I want. And they're going to resonate with it. So it needs to look like them, feel like them, and speak to them. All right. A graphic representation of a freebie is another way to do this. So if you're giving away some sort of freebie, then having some sort of representation like this. So you can see like it's like an image of our free school group that we had. Okay. So things like that. So essentially you're taking this original hypothesis, and then the only thing you're doing is you're duplicating it, 8 to 10 times, depending on how much you want to test. And you're putting a different background behind each, okay? According to the guidelines I just laid out here. Well, what sort of images do you test? Now, before I take a step forward, I do want to just share a few things of how we go through this ad testing process and how we make sure to get really dialed in results. So why I'm beginning to take you through this is because an ad has so many different variables to it. And I'm going to show you what those look like. Okay. So this is some of the basic anatomy pieces of an ad. Okay. There's the background image, which in this case is just a yellow block, right? But it usually is some sort of picture, like I was mentioning. There's the call out, which is this top area, specific person who wants specific desire. There's a proposal and timeline. And then there's a call to action and value add. Okay. So we're telling them what to do and we're telling them that we'll give them free value. Now, all of these things are different variables that need to be dialed in order for an ad to be as profitable and as potent and as accurate as possible. Now, there's no way to get that right on the first try. Although, again, with best practices, we can get very close. But just like in a math equation, when there's more variables in a math equation, it's much harder to solve the math equation. So instead of just testing one sort of ad with one sort of background, one call out, one proposal, and then trying a completely different thing and testing a bunch of completely different ads, we want to just test one variable at a time. And so the initial variable that we're isolating for, as I was mentioning, is the background image. So everything stays the same, except we try a bunch of different background images and we see which image people resonate with the most. And from there, we can test, okay, now we have the best image. Now, from that best image, what's going to be the best call out? And we try different call outs. Now we have the best image and the best call out. Now what's going to be the best proposal and timeline with the best image and the best call out? And we just changed one thing at a time in a new test to get closer and closer and see if we can outperform the previous test. All right, so I know that this may be a little bit complex, but just stick with me. I think you'll be able to get a lot from this. So now this takes me to the decision-making matrix, which essentially is all these different kind of nerdy things that are going to tell us how the ads are doing when you're looking in your ads manager and meta business. Okay. There's the click-through rate, which is this CTR link, which you'll see it in your ads manager, and the metrics. And this essentially tells us what percent of people click on the call to action, right? Whether that's message me or whether that's click learn more and it takes them to a funnel. Like how many people that see the ad actually click whatever the call to action is, like message me. And the indicator that something's doing well is 1% plus is ideal. Okay, if it's close, if it's like 0.8, 0.9%, that's good. But 1% plus is great. 1% of people who see the ad are actually clicking on the message you button. Now, there's another metric called click-through rate all. Now, this is just not necessarily people clicking to message you or clicking the link, but it's just people clicking on any part of the ad. So the image, read more, the comment section, liking it, etc. And 3% is ideal here, okay? Cost per message, right? Because we're using these image ads to tell people to DM us on Instagram, and essentially like a lead cost. And we want that to be $5 to $20-ish, depending on the offer. Now, of course, this can range tremendously, and you can have this be even higher and still have very profitable ads. At points we've had $35, $40 messages and had extremely profitable ads. There's cost per application. So how much does it cost to get someone to apply for a strategy or demo call with you? How much does it cost for someone to get a booked call with you? And then the ultimate metric of ads is how much did it cost to get a client, okay, to acquire a client. And generally what we try to shoot for is 1/3 to 1/10 of the program cost. Okay, so if you have a program that's $2,000, or let's just say $3,000 to make the math even simpler, then we would expect to spend anywhere from $300, which is 1/10 of $3,000, to $1,000, which is 1/3 of $3,000, to get a paying customer. And then we know that we can repeat that action again and again and again and get the results better and better and better. But this is like what we want to initially shoot for, is a 3 times return on your spend. So you put in 1,000, you get out 3,000. Pretty good deal. Would you make that trade again? Probably, right? Or have it as good as 1 or 10x return, which many of our clients have had even higher, 15 or 20x, which is not usual, but it's amazing when it happens. And you put in $1 and you get out $10, right? Or you put in 1,000 and you get out 10,000. We had one client at one point put in $247 and get out $27,000, which is just wild. It's a very high return. So these are sort of the metrics that we're looking at when we're making decisions on how is the ad performing and how do I make a decision on what's working and not working. Okay, so I know I'm going high level here. Stay with me. You're going to get a bunch of information on how to do this. So with this very first test, where we're just looking for the winning image, right? We've taken our ad hypothesis, we filled this all in, we put 10 different background images, and we launched it all out into the world. Okay, now we're going to look at the decision-making matrix and see what is winning, okay? And I've given you some kind of things to look for here as far as what the cost for things and the percentages for things should look like. And I'm going to just try to make it simplistic for you. So we can see with this image 6, it has a 1.16% click-through with the link and 2.16 for the CTR all, click-through rate all, which is great. It's performing the best out of all these statistics. So we're looking at that because right now the only thing that's different across all of these ads is just the background image. So we're just seeing which background image creates the most clickability, right? Which background image is the most liked by the marketplace and the most clicked by the marketplace, right? So now we're getting more people engaging with that post per dollar spent, which of course is going to be the most efficient way to run ads. So now we see from this test that image 6 has the highest level results here. So we take the winning image and we take these kind of runner-up images in the back of our mind here, and we go on to a phase 2 of testing, okay? And we get the winning call out, okay? So now you have the best image, and we take that best image and we just change the top part of the ad, which is what I was talking about here, the specific person who wants specific desires. So I'll show you some examples here. For instance, I've tried wellness retreat leaders as a call out. I've tried, meditation experts who want to hit X amount of income, Ayurveda practitioners who want to hit X amount of income, holistic course creators who want to hit X amount of income, trauma-informed coaches, right? So just a bunch of different sort of people. And that's exactly what we're testing next, is we're just either changing the specific person or the specific desire. And that's it. And we're keeping that best image we already found in the first test. And so what sort of callouts are we going to test? Well, different small niches, like I mentioned, like just targeting health coaches or Ayurveda practitioners or yoga educators or relationship experts. Now, some people are going to be like, well, that's going to limit me way too much. Well, the thing is, when you speak to everybody, nobody hears you. But when you speak to just a few, they actually pay attention and they listen. Okay? So don't worry about limiting yourself here. A lot of people say that, and then they end up speaking to nobody. And then we can also change the different desires or pains, right? So I could try something, for instance, like, and I've done all that before. Like this one says, Ayurveda practitioners who want to hit 10K months. But I could also just put Ayurveda practitioners who want 10 more sales calls this week, right? Ayurveda practitioners who want to fill their holistic retreat. Ayurveda practitioners who want 10 more high-ticket clients this month. Ayurveda practitioner, and you just try out all these different desires. Ayurveda practitioners who want to 10x their impact with their practice, right? So many different things we could test. And we just take the winning image, which in this case was image number 6, or background number 6, and we just change the call out. So we duplicated a bunch, and we just changed the call out to make these changes that I mentioned. And then we put that out there again, and then again, we bring it through the decision-making matrix, and we look at all these things, and we see what's getting us the best results. The ultimate, the lower down on this list these decisions are, the more important they are, right? So cost per message is one way of looking at things, but for instance, sometimes you'll have something that's a higher cost per message, but it's getting a lower cost per booked call. Because for whatever reason, the people that actually do end up messaging, while there may be less of them, they're higher intent, they have a higher intent, and so they end up booking more calls than some of the ads that have lower cost per message. Okay, so we want to look at all of these things in conjunction with each other and be able to make the most informed decision. Now, if you're just going by these top things, that's fine. It's just a less informed decision, and you have to spend less to figure out these data points than to figure out these data points. Okay, these data points down here cost more money to figure out if they're working or not. All right. So we keep running it through this different variables. And to be honest, when someone's not spending that much money on ads, which I define that as like less than $10,000 a month, like, which again is relative. If you're spending like less than $10,000 a month, you can probably get some good ads running with just doing the background image test and potentially doing the different call out test, and that's it. But if you're spending more than like $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 per month on ads like we are, then you need to get the right background, the right call out, the right proposal and timeline, the right call to action and value add, and keep testing. And there's more variables to test than this. I'm just trying to keep it simplified for this training. There's also the targeting. There's all the back-end setup of the pixels and the tracking. There's the demographics within Meta itself. But the main thing that's driving all the traffic is the ad creative itself. So the image, the text on the image, and the copy underneath the image. Not all the little buttons in the background, okay? Those are important, don't get me wrong, but the most important is the image itself and what's on the image, because that's what people are seeing and that's what people are engaging with. And then Meta or Instagram's optimizing for people who are more likely to engage, like the people who have already engaged. So hopefully that's not too high level here, but let me give you a few other things to take into consideration that allow you to make really good ads, and hopefully you get some value from that as well. So The other thing to think about is, am I adding enough value for free? Okay, one of my mentors, he said, you should give so much away for free, or give, something so valuable away that you're worried about giving it away for free. Okay. So I try to do that with these YouTube videos and just think, man, what's the most value I can put into these YouTube videos to make them as valuable as possible for free, right? Now, when you're putting a value proposition in the ad, right? Again, we put it at the bottom of this ad, message me for more info about our process, and I'll even throw in our free, PDF or guide or whatever it is. Now, when it comes to choosing the value proposition that you have, of course, this could be a whole class in of itself, but there's a hierarchy. Okay, a PDF guide is going to be lower level. It's going to be less desirable, right? You wrote 5 pages or 10 pages or 20 pages. Maybe if it was really, really good, it would work really well. But it had to be a really good PDF guide. A short video, like a VSL, is another freebie, right? Just short video that's solving one of their problems, giving them high level value. A masterclass, on running ads, or conscious high level sales, or being a 7-figure leader in your community, or whatever. Something that's relevant to the person and the community and that solves a real problem for them for free. A mini course on a problem that your clients are facing, or an entire free school. So I'll segue for a second and show you one of the school groups that we had going for free for a while. We're transitioning, we're going to put a bunch of like small priced paid things in here. But we had this course in here that was just a tremendous amount of things in here for free. And, people would go through all these like classes that we had, and basically, at the end of it, we set it up so that people could book a call with us if they wanted, but there was all these lessons in here that they could go through for free, and we could send people to, and some people just went through a ton of our content, booked a call, and then they're just ready to buy by the time they came on the call, and we didn't really have to sell anything because they're already sold. So that's the ideal effect of a good value proposition or of a good freebie. And you don't want to do any selling in your freebie, right? I think a lot of people make that mistake too. They're like, here's about my program, and their whole video is just about their program, but nobody wants your program. They want a method that's going to get them a high level result. And so all of your marketing efforts should sell people on your method, and all sales calls should sell them on the product. There's a distinction between the two, right? For instance, Russell Brunson, who founded ClickFunnels, which is a very popular software, he sells people in his webinars that, the best way to get clients online and sell stuff online is with a funnel. So he's selling you that a funnel is the best method. But then when you go further in, you actually talk to somebody on their team, they say the best funnel to use is our ClickFunnels, right? So they're selling you on the product on the call, but they're selling you on the method and the marketing material. And so you want to sell people on your methodology by just giving value and not trying to talk about, and you're going to get 6 coaching calls with me, and you're going to get a bunch of recorded materials. Like, nobody buys because of that. They only buy because they feel like you're going to give them high level value. Okay, so why not just give a ton of high level value for free without asking anything in return, and have it be so amazing that people want to take the next step with you? All right. So on this little kind of pyramid, this is like lower level value is PDF, all the way up to a free school group, which I'll put a link in the bio or in the description below. If you want a free trial to set up your own school funnel and school group, you can sign up using that link to a higher level value, right? On this little pyramid here. All right. So the higher level value, the freebie, the more people are going to want it, right? And especially if it's really good, you're going to get a lot more booked calls, and your ads are going to be much more effective than if it's not very good. Because if your free stuff isn't good, why would people want to pay you for your paid stuff? It doesn't make sense. So your free stuff has to be very good. All right. Now, to kind of just wrap it all up and tell you how it comes together, essentially, we have people come in from these ads that they see on Instagram that I just showed you the format of, and they DM us. Now in the DMs, we ask them about their business, we give them the free resource. And sometimes, people are qualified and they want to just apply to talk with our team. So our DM appointment setters will send them the application to book a call with us. All right. Other times, people will get the free resource in the DMs, and then they'll be sent to one of our funnels, which, you have to give your name, phone number, email, and then you get a free training or whatever the free resource is, or a free school community or whatever. And then from that free resource, there's again going to be the opportunity to apply for a call with our team. Now, in the application, what we found is in order to get your ads working really well, especially when you're spending more money on ads, is to have an application grading process. Now, what do I mean by this? Well, there's a bunch of questions that people have to fill out before booking a call with you or your team. And you can set it so that there's an automated process that kind of grades higher quality answers from lower quality answers and gives the higher quality answers the ability to book calls with you, and the lower quality are not able to book with you. So right now in our system, applications that are graded as a level 1, there's no booking option for them. They're redirected to free materials. And you know what? A lot of those people, like I was mentioning earlier on in the training, where only 3% are ready to buy now, when we actually give them high level value and they're redirected to the free high level value that we provide, they're able to learn more. They're able to learn what they didn't know that they needed to know. Okay, they're able to see their blind spots and grow as leaders. And so, maybe they're not ready to buy now or talk to us now, but maybe in the future. And we've had that happen many, many times, right? Now, a grade 2 goes to our appointment setter's calendar. So like a quick 15, 20-minute Zoom call, and they just kind of see further, is this person going to be qualified? Do they have really the right model for us to make them a complete success using our model and our program? Because, we don't want to just sign people up because they're willing to pay us. We want to sign people up who are going to get amazing results with our product and service. So transparently, they're going to give us a testimonial, they're going to refer their friends, and they're going to pay to work with us again because they're getting such amazing results with us the first round, right? And then grade 3 or 4 is a higher level grade of application. Those go straight to the sales team calendar, all right, and close your calendar. So it goes through the grading process, then it goes to the sales team. And then from there, if the person signs up, they're onboarded to our client success team. Okay, and this has just been such an amazing process. When you get this ad machine running, you can have somebody in here in the DMs as an appointment setter booking all these appointments for you. And then if you get to a point where you grow even more, you can have someone doing all the conscious sales processes for you. When you grow even more, you can have someone who's onboarding your clients for you, guiding them through your experience, giving them a really high level welcome, and also leading them through the course materials and through the coaching experience, in addition to the other resources you may have. So having the ads machine just allows you to create such a higher level product and service where you can serve way more people. Because when it's just you can serve some people. But when you actually have a machine and a cash flow that allows you to hire other people to help, you can have more of your genius shine. You can have more of your desire to serve shine forward and make your product better and better and better. Whereas most people, they're just kind of barely getting through, and then they're not able to really dominate their marketplace and make a way better product. Okay. So this is essentially the process I have. And like I was mentioning, the more and more we develop these, we're consistently creating more and more free value propositions. And what we can do is send it out to all the people who opted in through our SMS list, our email list, our Instagram, our YouTube. And in all those channels, as much as possible, I'm just trying to provide value and not ask anything, right? I'm not like, you need to book a call on every single, SMS or email or, Instagram post or YouTube video. Why? Because I just want to create a ton of value. The people who are going to work with us, great. The people who are not going to work with us, they'll get clarified as well that we're not meant for them. And so having that high level value-based follow-up is essential as well, because you can use that and text all the people who didn't end up buying on the call and keep providing, connection within that relationship, rather than just like letting them sink into Instagram oblivion in your DMs, never to be contacted again, right? Maybe it just wasn't the right time. Maybe they just weren't in that 3% that were ready to buy now, but you're going to limit yourself greatly if you don't create a lot of amazing high-level trainings and content that you can send out to the 97% that are not ready to buy right now, that are inevitably going to be part of your marketing, that reach out to you or that book a sales call with you or whatever. So this is basically what I have for you. Hopefully you're able to follow this. I know that it's a little bit high level and there's way more to go in depth with this, but I wanted to just kind of show you how we're able to spend this amount of money and have 8 times the amount come out on the other side and be able to help people at a really high level. And this is the exact things that we're doing for our clients. So all I ask is that if you got any sort of value from this, please comment below. I look at all the comments personally to these videos, and I'd love to know what you learned. Another really great resource is to look at Meta Ads Library. Just literally Google Meta Ads Library, and then you can search all the sort of, you can search any sort of keyword in your niche, and you can see all the people advertising. Now, let me just end with this. Let's say health coach, right? Oops. Health coach. Okay, now what you want to do is you want to filter by active, right? We don't want to see ads that are turned off. And then you want to see ads that have been running for at least a few months, right? Because people don't keep spending money on ads if they're not working. Whereas you don't know if this one launched on February 2nd, which is just 10 days ago, 11 days ago, is working or not. So you want to scroll down and see ones that are, at least from December. Okay, because nobody's going to spend for months and months unless they're completely negligent on ads that aren't working. So anyways, you can go back to December at least a few months, and then start to study, right? Start to study these ads and see, what do you like about them? What is it? What are all the different elements of the ad? Like I was showing you up here, they might not have the exact format I have, but I'm sure some of the same principles are there. The call out, the proposal, the call to action, what is their freebie, etc. And start to be able to piece together what's working in the marketplace right now, and then be able to have your own iteration of that. So that's just my last tip for you here. Peace out. Hope you liked this. Please share this, comment. I'm trying to grow this channel and slowly making more and more videos for it. So hope you liked it.